Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 452 based on novel. So let's start. Hey, don't get angry, you too, be kind and make money. The man with the broken arm who was hiding in the back was told by Xiao Yan. Although his face flickered with shock, he grinned in a blink of an eye and walked towards the two of them. The voice of the man with the broken arm just fell, and an extremely fierce wind and thunder continued to sound, making the atmosphere in this square suddenly quiet. Reincarnation level peak strength. When Xiao Yang and the three saw this, they were slightly startled. Lord Landlord. Seeing this, the old man Rise couldn't help but bowed down respectfully, and then gave a big salute. The owner of the building is the real power controller of the sales floor. Usually, the dragon can't see the end, so why do you have time to come here today? But there is no doubt that the people who can be personally received by the landlord are probably the most distinguished people in the world. Uncle Lee, go down. I will personally receive these two. After the man with the broken arm finished speaking, he waved his hand. In the lower castle Lionger, if you two want to know the question in your heart, just come with me. Sword Crazy Li Tianxiao. Xiao Yang, the Lord of Endless Fire Territory. Elves. It's really three interesting guys. Interesting and interesting. After Angers finished speaking, there was a trace of violent wind and thunder around his body, and then he lifted his foot and walked towards the inside of the intelligence sales building. Sword Crazy? Isn't that one of the best sword fields in the human world? When Xiao Yi heard this, the corners of her eyes shrank violently. Sword Domain? Xiao Yang asked with some doubts. Second brother, the overall strength of the sword territory may be similar to that of our fire elves, but the strength of the sword territory's lord is due to his unique sword intent, which is quite terrifying. Xiao Yi explained. Then, Li Tianxiao and Xiao Yang followed the latter and entered the sales building directly. On the top floor of the magnificent sales building, in a hall, Xiao Yang three people were seated in it. On the other hand, the owner of the store brought the three people here first, and then disappeared for a while. In the hall, it was very quiet, and the three of them did not have any hostility. After all, this is someone else's territory. If it is rough here, it is obviously not a wise move. 3. It's been a long wait. The silence did not last long. When the master of the interior appeared, he already had two extremely exquisite scrolls in his palm. Outside the scrolls, he was blessed with a huge amount of soul power. Not at all. Master Li, which one did you sing? Li Tianxiao frowned and asked. Sword cultivators shouldn't bother the world, but the strange ruler on Xiao Yang's body gave him a very strong surprise. So the always arrogant Li Tianxiao had the scene just now. He tried to use his own power to provoke the ancient ruler, so he made a big fight. Because he had not yet mastered the sword intent, he was kicked out of the sword domain by the master of the sword domain. After being desperate, Li Tianxiao had to come here to try to collect some information about the sword intent. Genyu, sword idiot Li Tianxiao. Xiao Yang in the Endless Fire Territory. If I expected it right, the two of you came here for the same purpose. The smile on the landlord's face was particularly strong, and it was obvious that he had just disappeared, so he should have thoroughly figured out the details of several people. Oh! The landlord had just finished speaking when Xiao Yang and Li Tianxiao looked at each other. Li Tianxiao's strength is worthy of reincarnation, and he has not yet reached the peak of reincarnation or the first level, but the iron sword that looks rusted behind him bears an astonishing aura. It seems that under this simple sword, there is a terrifying power that shocks the world. Master Li, Ming people don't speak secretly. Please also clarify. Li Tianxiao was obviously a little stunned by this kind of thing, so he couldn't help asking. The place you're going to is the Zen land of the Buddha realm. The place this friend is going to is also the Buddhist realm. The owner of the house didn't hide it either, he just made a point. This guy really has some strength. Until this time, Xiao Yang had no doubts about the landlord, and he was able to control even such hidden information. This spatial intelligence sales building really lived up to its reputation, but why did he say that he wanted to go to the Buddha realm? Even the goddess Yaoji did not make it clear that the casters in ancient times were in the Buddhist realm. This is the information scroll you both need. The landlord said with a hearty smile, shaking the two scrolls in his hand and said softly. The three of them never made a sound. The owner of the house was so enthusiastic, which made them flattered. Could it be that they have something to ask for? Don't get me wrong, you two, this is just a little thought, and I want to get to know you too. After the landlord finished speaking, the two scrolls fell into the hands of Xiao Yang and Li Tianxiao. Come on, Send the two of you to the entrance of the passage to the plane of the Buddha realm. After doing all this, the landlord didn't say much, just waved his hand, and two old men poured out of the hall door. Thank you, the landlord. After Xiao Yang thanked them, they headed towards the entrance of the Buddha realm under the leadership of the old man. As for the information scroll, Xiao Yang was not in a hurry to open it. After all, the situation is not yet clear, and he is not in a hurry. It seems that this space intelligence sales building can stand upright. But it's okay for us. I'm happy with this kind of thing. After Xiao Yang muttered, he stepped directly into the Buddha realm, and it was imminent to restore the ruler of the gods. Because the space intelligence sales building is located in the Great Thousand World, it has constructed the entrance to each of the 7 planes, but the foreign population enters it rashly. However, for someone like Xiao Yang who has a lot of self-protection power, these are trivial matters. Lord, would it be too risky for you to do this? This level of information was obtained by our family's children through hard work, so you just sent it out like this? Xiao Yang and the others had just left, and several pale old men stepped out of the hall, and then charged the landlord with a stern face. The value of the second volume of information scrolls just now is not inferior to the immortal and fighting skill scrolls, but how could the owner of the interior give it away so easily? Elders, your eyes are too pedantic. Zhenyu is the top power in the human world, and this Li Tianxiao has obtained the true inheritance of the Master of the Sword, and his future achievements are limitless. The landlord said with a half-smile. Where's Xiao Yang? The name Endless Fire Territory is too low level. After all, the latter is just a new force, and I am afraid that it will be completely disintegrated by other continents in the human world. Some elders couldn't help but worry. Have you ever seen a human with 5 holy flames in his body at the same time? Throughout the ages, apart from the Holy King and a few other strong men, how many people are there? I've made up my mind, no need to say any more. You will naturally understand in the future. Xiao Yang and Xiao Yi stepped into the void to the Buddha realm, but Li Tianxiao parted ways with the two, even though the destination was also the Buddha realm. Tear it off. Within a day, Xiao Yang and the two also arrived at the Buddha realm peacefully. When he first entered the Buddhist realm, everything in his sight became completely different. The territory of the Buddhist world is mostly composed of towering mountains, beautiful deep mountains, and valleys, among which the secluded monasteries are typical representatives of the Buddhist world. The towering Buddha statues in the temple are refreshing. In the Buddhist realm, one after another comes from the redemption and rebirth of the soul. There is no hustle and bustle in the world, and there is the sound of chanting incense. Second brother, let's take a look at the information scroll first. Above the corner of the mountains, Xiao Yi couldn't help but speak. Ghosts know why these Buddhist monasteries always choose their residences in deep mountains and old forests. Countless confinements were set up along the way, so that people could only walk on foot in the most primitive way. Once they were in the air, the sound of the ancient chanting merits reverberated in their minds, causing the fighting spirit in their bodies to shake violently. Where is the caster? Master Chen is in the Liaochen temple. It is said that this Master Chen is withdrawn by nature, and no one has ever been able to ask for help successfully. The temple is stationed in a deep place called the Body Tribulation Forest under the Buddha realm. It is rumored that the Body Tribulation Forest is the residence of eminent monks who have transcended the calamity. In the mountains and forests, there are faintly morning bells and twilight drums, and endless mysterious ancient scriptures are rippling. Let people's hearts stay away from the hustle and bustle, and get the sublimation of body, mind and even soul. Gently using his soul power to open the information scroll, some ancient words emerged, which deeply stabbed Xiao Yang's nerves. It is obvious that the strong person who made this kind of information scroll has more terrifying soul power than Xiao Yang. The Body Kalpa Forest. I don't know if it can help me enter the real reincarnation. And this time, it's urgent to repair the magic weapon. Xiao Yang looked up and saw that the profound soul force actually passed through the obstacles of the mountains. He could vaguely see in the depths of the robbery forest, a quiet monastery stood in it, cigarettes lingered all over his body, obviously the incense was extremely strong, and the surrounding forests were lush with green bamboos. Surrounded by mystery. Let's go, the destination is just ahead. However, the deep mountain structure here is extremely mysterious, and some obscure ancient formations are actually formed invisibly. Is it an illusion? As soon as they finished speaking, the two of them also walked towards the deep mountain. Unfortunately, because of the remote location of this temple, no one could be seen along the way. Although it is impossible to break through the void, for the two reincarnation powerhouses, the seemingly long distance is only a few hours' journey. In the depths of the body tribulation forest, the Liaochen temple stands quietly in it. At this time, in the main hall of the temple, golden Buddha lights flickered slightly, and in front of the Buddha statue, a monk appeared here. The monk is dressed in a blue robe, and there is no fluctuation of strength on his body. His eyes are slightly closed, and a string of beads engraved with countless hidden lines is pinched on his palm. While praying, it seems to be waiting for something. In the main hall of the temple, the Buddha statue in the center suddenly released an extremely vast Buddha light, shrouding the entire temple. The dust is gone, the dust is old, let's convert to Buddhism as soon as possible. The Buddha's voice whispered, but it resounded through the whole world like the gods and Buddhas of the gods, causing the countless noisy air to freeze. That kind of terrifying coercion was incomparable to the power of heaven and earth. My Buddha is merciful, how can I dare to enter the Buddha? The past lives are reincarnated, this time the old man has to wait. At this moment, the monk suddenly opened his eyes, squeezed the beads tightly, and a tone full of vicissitudes emerged like a vast star. Master Lycan, someone is visiting. The next moment, a little Buddhist came in, folded his hands and prayed, and said, "It is clear that this temple is so prosperous, and it is maintained by several little Buddhists. Take me there." The monk stood up and said, as if something had been decided. "They are already waiting in the back room, please move the master." After a conversation, the two walked towards the rear together. "Second brother, the Buddhist temple here always makes me feel uneasy." Xiao Yi sat on the wooden table and gently twisted her lips. For some unknown reason, in addition to the ancient Zen sounds, there were also some extremely strange auras here. Squeak. With a sound, the closed wooden door was gently pushed open. "Master Lycan." Xiao Yang stood up first, and then said with a smile, the aura of the monk's body was nothing but a master. According to the records on the intelligence scroll, before this Master Liaochen became a monk, he was a top-notch caster who was hidden from the world, but he didn't know why he chose to become a monk and convert to Buddhism. "Donor, I know your purpose, but let me ask you, what is Buddha?" Master Liao Chen stared at Xiao Yang. This guy didn't have any grudge in his body, but it made Xiao Yang feel awkward. "I am now in Buddhism, how many gods and Buddhas are there?" Master Liaochen did not face Xiao Yang's question directly, but instead asked. "There are countless gods and Buddhas in the vast world, and there are many devil Buddhas in the devil world, devil Buddhas. The so-called Buddha, as long as the enlightened monk who has obtained the supreme Buddha Dharma, he can become a Buddha on the spot. Buddhist gods and Buddhas, in the current records, the two gods and Buddhas, Sakyamuni Buddha and the ancient Buddha of Burning Lamp, are the most powerful ones." Xiao Yang nodded. Obviously some things about Buddhism have been known a lot under Xiao Yi's explanation. Buddhism has a Dharma body, a Dharma image, and the body and image are unified, so that they are supreme gods and Buddhas. Master Chen explained. "Master Lycan, to be honest, we came here on this trip to restore the magic weapon, and we hope that the master will complete it." Xiao Yang looked at Grandmaster's slightly appreciative expression, and hurriedly said, "Take the things out. Gulu, this is it." When Xiao Yang handed over the ancient ruler that he was carrying behind him, Master Lycan's always calm eyes had a hint of vicissitudes of life, and a trace of mist filled it. "Master Lu Chen, do you know this thing? Or has something to do with the Holy King?" Seeing Master Chen's attitude like this, Xiao Yang couldn't help but click his tongue secretly, and immediately guessed. "I didn't expect you to actually get it. It really belongs to my Buddha's compassion." Master Liaochen couldn't put it down, his palm tightly squeezed the ancient ruler, and the 7 holy pattern holes in it actually trembled slightly under the touch of his old palm. The old man has been a monk for thousands of years, and he has long since stopped asking about world affairs, but since you are an old friend, let's make an exception this time. Master Chen nodded with satisfaction and smiled. "That's great." This junior thanked the master for his kindness again. Xiao Yang couldn't help but feel a little happy when he heard this. It seemed that a Master Liaochen recognized the ancient ruler and had a good relationship with the Holy King, otherwise this trip would definitely not be so easy. It's not easy to repair the magic weapon. But the donor can't be too happy, because there is a very important thing missing in repairing this thing. Just after Xiao Yang felt that things had taken a turn for the better, Master Lu Chen suddenly spoke up, as if he was still unfulfilled. "Missing something vital?" Xiao Yang looked suspiciously at the mysterious Master Liao Chen in front of him, but he couldn't find any doubts after some induction. There are very few people who still master the art of repairing magic weapons in ancient times, and it is difficult to find traces. Now that this guy is finally found, it seems that he can only use a dead horse as a living horse doctor. "Your ruler looks very ordinary, But there are many ancient and vast rune structures inside, and I can't repair it perfectly, but the old man is willing to do his best to repair its external parts. It's just that repairing the exterior is also very mysterious, because the required material is mysterious, so it needs a very special material. Meteorite iron. Master Lu Chen's eyes have been staring at the ancient ruler in his hand, as if touching a precious treasure, cherishing words like a golden road. This level of skillful craftsmanship cannot be cast even by oneself, but when he grasps it in his hand, the blood that has been silent for countless years in the body becomes surging. Meteorite iron? I also hope that the master will make it clear. Xiao Yi and Xiao Yang looked at each other and said at the same time, now they can only trust this guy temporarily. With your intelligence, you naturally know the construction of these majestic mountains, right? Master Chen twirled the Buddha beads and explained to Xiao Yang little by little. Is this a formation? Could it be that something is being suppressed here? Xiao Yang's heart skipped a beat, and then said directly, blue-haired Buddha lion, it is the divine beast that Manjushri sat down on. As early as after the First World War, it has been left here for some reason, suppressing the endless evil and filth in this mountain range for generations. Legend has it that it guarded countless treasures, but no matter who went to seek alms, in the end they came back in vain. Meteorite iron is one of the things that the blue-haired Buddha lion guards. If you can get it, there will be no problem with repairing the outside of this ruler. Master Chen replied. When he said this, his expression was extremely hot. In addition to the 2 gods and Buddhas, the 6 bodhisattvas are people who have attained Taoism in my Buddhism. Manjushri Bodhisattva has great wisdom. Sitting down on the blue-haired Buddha lion body controls extremely powerful power, and there are even many rumors that its roar can be shattered. The human heart crushes the soul, and the power of destruction is terrifying. It is located in the depths of this deep mountain, the Jielin Valley. There are thunderstorms all day around the Jielin Valley, and with the existence of this divine beast, we Buddhists can't get close to there, so. Master Lai Chen said this, suddenly withdrew his gaze, and then looked at Xiao Yang. Master, please wait here, we will go back when we go, but I hope Master will show you the way. Xiao Yang nodded, and then asked him directly. Donor, I'll give you a ride. Master Liaochen murmured countless Buddhist scriptures all over his body, and the golden Buddha light entangled Xiao Yang and the 2 of them, and then turned into a stream of light, blasting away from the temple, and its destination was naturally the center of the deep mountain. Amitabha, my Buddha is merciful, I hope the benefactor of this good fortune can grasp it. The sound of the Buddha reverberated throughout the temple for a long time. Second brother, is this guy plotting against us? Your ancient ruler is still in his hands. Along the way, Xiao Yi, who was shrouded in the Buddha's light, couldn't help but ask, obviously a little worried. After all, Master Chen's attitude towards Xiao Yang was too different from the information they got. Don't worry, this master should be related to the ancient ruler, and I think he is intentionally pointing us. This trip may not be that simple. Xiao Yang released the power of his soul, constantly exploring this lofty mountain range, faintly smelling waves of evil power through the thick mountain range. I've already reached the peak of the reincarnation step, and I still need a chance to step into the real first-level reincarnation, but second brother, you are worthy of reincarnation now. I don't know if you can completely change this time. Xiao Yi nodded and said with the same relief, but she did not dare to underestimate Xiao Yang's quasi-reincarnation strength. After all, the power of the holy flame and the power of the dragon transformation, Xiao Yang has become a bit tyrannical now. People envy. Under the shroud of the Buddha's light, the 2 of them headed towards the so-called Jielin Valley. In the boundless and majestic sky, a wave of awe-inspiring aura slapped on their bodies, which turned out to be a trace of a trace on their bodies. A rare numbness appeared. Immediately, feeling this terrifying power, Xiao Yang suddenly raised his eyes to look at a mountain stream below, and a touch of excitement was conveyed. Here we are. After the Buddha's light disappeared, Xiao Yang and Xiao Yi's bodies fell from the sky like meteorites and fell directly against the mountain peaks on the ground. Looking up, in front of him is a valley surrounded by hexagonal peaks. The surrounding peaks stand tall, but the surrounded valley completely collapses. There are actually golden thunders that permeate the valley above, all day long. With the appearance of the pieces of golden thunder, there was a thunderous sound that suddenly sounded from the bottom of my heart. The energy between the whole world seemed to be absorbed by the golden thunder, injected into it, and the golden thunder was tamed even more violently, streaks of golden thunder. The snake is very spiritual swimming in it. The sight is now projected towards the valley below the thunder snake and thunder mang. A palace as grand as a palace in the sky appears loomingly under the cover of countless mists. The sense of coercion contained in it strikes the soul directly. Right here. What are you waiting for? Second brother, let's go. Xiao Yi also looked up and was excited to jump from the edge of the mountain to the valley. Don't worry, this matter is probably not so simple. Xiao Yang shook his head and reached out to stop Xiao Yi. On some sharp rocks on the edge of the surrounding peaks in the valley, sticky blood was sprinkled all over the soil and rocks, and a strong smell of blood emanated from everywhere, even on the branches of some trees. There are also cold corpses hanging, many of which are white bones and fresh corpses that have died soon. The hotness in Xiao Yi's heart was instantly awakened by the situation around her, and her face suddenly became serious. Since the green-haired Buddha lion is the seated beast of Manjushri, it has been left here since the first war between heaven and earth. One is to guard the countless evils in this land. As for the second, I am afraid it is not so simple. Xiao Yang did not act in a hurry, his face became serious, his icy eyes accompanied by an extremely large soul force, turned into energy ripples and glanced away at the valley below. There's a little. Let's go. Xiao Yang turned his head, just wanted to say something, but he didn't finish it in the end. He said something to Xiao Yi, and then the two jumped directly from the top of the mountain to the Jilin Valley below. Some things are too mysterious. I'm afraid I can only take risk. Boom. The bodies of the two were just surging, and suddenly the golden thunder was like a lion that had been awakened from a long sleep, and an extremely violent aura spread out, completely binding the two bodies in the middle of the valley. This should be the test of entering the valley. This kind of thunder is powerful. It is a foley unique to foemen. If you pass it, you will be born, otherwise. A trace of grey thunder began to condense all over Xiao Yang's body, and there were faint thunderclouds gathering behind him. One after another, humming sounds rang out, mixed with the coercion of the world. Otherwise. Xiao Yi felt a tingling sensation on her scalp, and immediately said tremblingly, "The skeletons on the mountain just now are lessons from the past. But just relying on this kind of strength is too cowardly. Step aside." Lei came. An unruly and huge voice sounded, and a huge grey thunder that was as large as 1,000 feet suddenly burst out from Xiao Yang's body, immediately pierced through the void, and directly carried it with the golden thunder snake. Boom! The grey thunderbolt and the golden thunder snake collided abruptly, and the mighty energy ripples spread out, but they did not cause any waves to the void mountain. When the two-color thunder attack weakened slightly, Xiao Yang suddenly noticed something and raised his head suddenly. In his own thunder, he possesses the power of the Thunder Master. Why is this golden thunder able to tie him? Xiao Yang raised his head, a rare surprise flashed in his dark eyes. The grey thunderbolts were spraying out continuously like spring water, but the golden thunderbolts seemed to ignore the grey thunderbolts and slammed directly at Xiao Yang's body. Do not come. Seeing these golden thunders, Xiao Yang had a whim, and immediately hurriedly scolded Xiao Yi. The thunder-type fighting core in his body started to run at a high speed, and there were faint traces of swallowing the golden thunder. Bang bang bang! The golden thunder struck Xiao Yang's body, and suddenly a low and violent sound swelled up. On Xiao Yang's skin, the blue dragon scales protruded instantly, and the blue veins burst. With the protection of the tyrannical dragon scales, Xiao Yang's body was also emitting a wave of weakness. For this reason, a trace of white mist still overflowed from the skin. Second brother. Seeing Xiao Yang undergoing such a big change, Xiao Yi looked worried, but with Xiao Yang's orders, she was unable to act, and Xiao Yi could vaguely see that on Xiao Yang's skin, a trace of golden thunder had disappeared into the blue dragon scales, and finally injected into Xiao Yang's body, turning it into the latter's extremely pure energy. Wait. Second brother is using the golden thunder to temper his body. Seeing strands of golden thunder coming towards Xiao Yang's body from the top of the valley, although there were bursts of terrifying muffled noises, Xiao Yang seemed to be still unfinished. Boom! Thunderbolt, thunderbolt. This act of attracting thunder into the body lasted for nearly a stick of incense, and the golden thunder in the upper part of the Jilin Valley just dissipated faintly, and the figure who had been in the center of the thunder explosion, a burst of the smell of burnt smell permeated the air. If Xiao Yi knew that Xiao Yang had cultivated the top secret technique of the dragon clan, and the dragon ***** changed, he would have shot directly. After all, he was worried about what would happen. Che, it didn't let me step into reincarnation completely. What kind of Buddhist world, Folei, is just fooling people? The figure of Jiao He walked out from the sky above Jilin Jiyu, and then there was a chatter in his mouth. Obviously, after absorbing this kind of thunder, although it was quite beneficial to him, the effect was minimal. Stunned. Xiao Yi, who was beside him, looked at Xiao Yang with a stunned expression. How could there be someone who took someone else's thunder for nothing, and then said it was someone else's? Let's go, the thunder here has been cracked by me, and it should be difficult to form again. The Jielin Valley below is our target. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, a strong force roared out, pulling Xiao Yi's figure directly, and immediately stepped into the misty Jielin Valley below. In the Jielin Valley, there are dense bamboo forests everywhere, and even on the bamboo forest body, one after another extremely obscure Buddhist scriptures seem to have been carved by people, and they appear endlessly sacred and solemn. It's just that the bamboo forest here is shrouded in strange white mist, which greatly reduces the perception and sight of the two of them. Just entering here, the air is extremely fresh, and a long-lost quiet concentration emerges from the heart. The two of them started walking sparsely. After about a few minutes, they found a huge palace quietly standing in the center of the bamboo forest in the Jielin Valley. Second brother. At this time, the power of reincarnation spread out from Xiao Yi's body. Looking around vigilantly, a strange aura appeared. It seems that there are some terrifying creatures in this palace. That kind of terrifying aura emanating from the invisible makes Xiao Yi secretly slap her tongue. Xiao Yang heard the words and looked at the palace in front of him. The strands of Buddha light flickered like fireflies, but an ancient wave permeated the periphery of the palace, shocking. At the same time, in the ancient palace, a circle of energy ripples spread out like water waves, and the ancient and mysterious fluctuations washed the hearts of everyone. There are golden Buddhist scriptures carved around this palace. Even after countless years of erosion, its power cannot be underestimated. And this power of Buddha's light has a very keen insight into the evil atmosphere. Something in my body was detected by it, and this strange scene just happened. Xiao Yang was shaken back several meters by this force, and the newly born holy flame, the soul shaman glazed heartfire, emerged. This newly born holy flame was as deep as colored glass, and the energy contained in it could be learned from heaven and earth. Pressure did not continue to exert pressure on Xiao Yang. There is no trace of the divine beast around, and the entire Jielin Valley. I am afraid that the palace in front of it is extremely strange. Xiao Yi's eyes kept turning, trying to open this ancient palace to find the blue-haired Buddha lion, to ask the whereabouts of the meteorite iron, and to help the second brother repair the ancient ruler as soon as possible. At the moment when the two were talking, an ancient bell rang out from nowhere. Crack! As the ancient bell rang, in the ancient palace in front of him, the bronze Buddhist gate seemed to be gently pushed open from the inside. Out! The mysterious building that has been closed for thousands of years or even longer, is finally fully opened at this moment, completely exposing its face to Xiao Yang and the two of them wung buzzing. The glass-colored holy flame and Xiao Yang, who were wrapped in brown holy flame, looked at each other, and unreservedly unleashed their vindictive aura, which instantly turned into a flame light shield that spanned hundreds of meters. Murmured. Otherwise, if there is no resistance from the flame shield, I am afraid that the souls of the two will be completely lost under the Buddha's voice. After all, that ancient Buddha's voice has the terrible power of destroying the body and spirit. The bronze Buddhist gate of the ancient palace was opened, but nothing could be seen from the outside. Xiao Yi couldn't help waiting for Xiao Yang's move. Let's go. Xiao Yang was also a daring and careful person. The holy flame and the soul's power revolved, forming two shackles and membrane circles around the two, and walked towards the palace step by step. When I first entered the palace, it seemed that there was only an empty hall in it. Looking around, there was nothing in the entire hall, except for a delicate bronze statue that was dozens of meters long. The statue is lifelike, the teeth are as sharp as serrated teeth, the head is quite round, and the corners of the mouth are slightly open to make a roar. Just looking at them makes the two feel unreal. In this building, on the surrounding walls are painted murals that are extremely mysterious and incomprehensible. Most of the murals are a lion and an elegant man. Second brother. Could this be the blue-haired Buddha and lion mythical beast that Manjushri sat on? But Master Lycan didn't say that this guy. Xiao Yi looked at the blue lion statue in front of her and couldn't help shaking her head, her voice full of doubts. Master Lycan didn't specifically say whether this blue-haired Buddha lion is alive or dead. Xiao Yang shook his head, but he always felt that things were not right. In the thousands of worlds, there are countless rumors about the two supreme gods and Buddhas in the Buddha world, several great bodhisattvas and body ancestors, etc., and even Xiao Yang does not know whether Manjushri Bodhisattva is male or female. After all, there are too many rumors. The murals here are treasures in the Buddhist world. They should record some of the life stories of Manjushri Bodhisattva and the blue-haired Buddha lion, but on the last mural, why is there a figure of the Buddha's eminent monk body? The figures and identities of the respective characters in the Buddhist world are extremely easy to identify, because they have their own shapes and magical instruments, so Xiao Yan can distinguish them very easily. Blue-haired Buddha lion, its roar is like thunder, there are lightning flashes in its eyes, and the terrifying power of breaking mountains and breaking the ground when it swings its teeth and claws. Second brother, come and see, there is a line of small characters under the head of this lion statue. Naturally, Xiao Yi couldn't understand the surrounding murals, because at first glance, there was an extremely heavy dizziness, so she could only look for other things. This is. Xiao Yang walked over and repeatedly looked at the Buddhist traces under the blue stone lions. Just as the two were hesitating, a roar resounded through the entire palace, and the bronze Buddhist gate in the palace not far away was instantly closed. The building was sealed, and a violent aura actually spread from the lion statue in front of it. Prepare. Xiao Yang seemed to have expected it a long time ago. The glass-colored flames burned violently, and a strong aura of who was fighting for the front was vividly displayed under the operation of Sheng Yang and Fen Ju. The sound of the roar sounded, and the golden energy on the bronze Buddha lion in front of him melted like a hot melt. The golden liquid spread out, and the stone lion statue actually melted and opened. A blue-haired lion that looks extremely shocking, alive appeared in front of the two. The terrifying coercion and power of that kind of menacing are most vividly reflected in this guy. Blue-haired Buddha lion. Xiao Yi's body was full of brown flames, and then she stopped in front of Xiao Yang's body with a single step, and said coldly, looking at this appearance, she was obviously ready to go into battle in person. The green-haired Buddha lion is really famous. But you shouldn't be willing to stay here forever, right? When this guy roared with Xiao Yang's keen soul power, he clearly sensed the majestic power in the latter's body, which was a divine beast from the Buddha realm that was comparable to the human's double reincarnation level. The strength of Manjushri should be more than that. Why is the strength of the beast sitting down so weak? Xiao Yang thought about it. Naturally it was some guesswork, so he said boldly, "Human, don't speak madly, or this seat." The green-haired Buddha lion just woke up and was extremely angry. He just wanted to open the lion's roar to kill the two of them, but when he heard Xiao Yang's voice, he was surprised. Staring at Xiao Yang like a torch, he seemed to smell an extremely terrifying fluctuation from this guy with quasi-reincarnation strength, and what he said was actually the same as his own situation. "Are you uttering wild words, Ching Maro Buddha lion? You should know better than us. As Manjusri Bodhisattva sitting down as a divine beast, you should have stood in the center of the Buddha world with Manjusri Bodhisattva, listened to the scriptures of the gods and Buddhas, and roamed the world, but guarded here all day long and suffered a lot. If I were you, I would leave here at all costs. Are the lions in the pond?" Xiao Yang saw that his guess seemed to be correct. He directly dissipated the glazed holy flames from his body, and walked over to this behemoth step by step. Manjusri Bodhisattva in the Buddhist world sits down on the divine beast, and it is already a creature with great wisdom, far from being comparable to the monster beast in the demon world and the beast in the human world. And if you can sit down and talk calmly, there is no need to do anything. What you said is very true, but the problems I am facing now cannot be solved by your strength. It seemed that Xiao Yang was a little moved by what he said, but because of the strength of Xiao Yang, the blue-haired Buddha lion was in a dilemma for a while. With a bang, a glass-colored holy flame emerged, and the void in the entire palace instantly distorted, and a thick sacred hot breath filled the air. What a terrifying holy flame! Finally, seeing the glazed flame on Xiao Yang's body, the eyes of the blue-haired Buddha lion were filled with a look of shock and ecstasy. "I can help you, but as a price, all the treasures below are mine." Xiao Yang didn't hide it either. The lion said loudly, "No, there are too many treasures below, you can only choose 3, if you can do it, leave here if you don't." Listening to Xiao Yang's lion's big mouth, the blue-haired Buddha lion roared coldly, obviously this is the biggest concession it can make. "Okay, it's a deal." Xiao Yang readily agreed. "Now, maybe you can talk about the difficulties you encountered." Xiao Yang smiled and looked at the latter. "Human, do you know about demon suppression prison?" After the blue-haired Buddha lion made a deep voice, he suddenly opened his mouth, and his voice was filled with a long-lost heaviness. "Suppressing demon prison? This is the demon suppression prison below." Xiao Yang's eyes lit up, and he asked directly with ecstasy. "The Devil's Cube has not been filled yet, but if the demon suppression prison is below, Xiao Yang is confident enough to fill the Devil's Cube. In addition to his current strength, the Demon Cube in the full state is probably invincible under the 3rd or 4th tier. Because the Devil's power grows with the growth of his own strength, and now he is using the strength of reincarnation, the increase will probably reach 1 or 2 ranks of reincarnation. This kind of increase can be said to be unprecedented. Below, it's not the demon suppression prison, because it's just the demon prison left over by Manjushri when he killed the evil. It is used to imprison a Red King outside the realm. This evil shadow's strength, although she is only at the triple reincarnation level, she is an important person with a pure heart. Although you have a holy flame, you have to be careful. If you are contaminated with a pure heart, you will lose the power of holy flame in a short time, and you will fall into a state of sleep and seal within 100 years and 1,000 years. But now I can only rely on you. The green-haired Buddha lion said vigilantly. Let's lead the way. I will completely purify the evil prison here. Xiao Yang nodded, and immediately shared the enemy with Xiao Yi. Come on my back, this palace is connected to the bottom of the evil prison, I will take you into it, but I can't get close to the prison, otherwise I will alarm that guy. All hope depends on the two of you. The green-haired Buddha lion looks like he is eager to be liberated. After all, he has a heavy responsibility. Only when this place is completely solved can he go to find Manjushri Bodhisattva. Go. Xiao Yang and Xiao Yi came to this guy's back, and only then did they find the golden Buddhist scriptures squirming under the golden fluff on this guy's back, blooming with endless zen. If it weren't for Xiao Yang's clever plan, the two of them would probably need a lot of means to deal with this guy. This video will end here.